To make everyone's favorite street food, aloo tikki, I have used instant potato powder that you can get overseas. And all you need to do is just add a little bit of water to get this consistency of mashed potato with it. If you want to boil a potato and grate it, it works just as well. Here I have used 2 tablespoons of the potato powder, or you can use 2 small potatoes to boil up. These are enough for 2 tikkis. To this, I'm going to add a little bit of roasted cumin powder, that is bhuna zira powder, a little bit of red chili powder. I've put a quarter, 1/4 of a teaspoon of each of those. I'm also adding in a little less than 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt to season this with. Now, this is the secret ingredient that most people will not tell you about. To this, I'm going to add a heaped teaspoon of corn flour. Now, this is what binds our tikki together and gives it that crispiness on the outside. This is a chef's secret which I'm sharing with you today. Into this now, I'm going to add in a little bit of green chilies, which I'm snipping. These, of course, are optional. If you like your tikki spicy, then add these. If not, you can avoid these altogether. After this, all that I'm going to do is really blend this mixture well, because I do not want any pockets of bland potatoes or any bits of overspiced potatoes or over salted potatoes when I'm eating my tikki. So this is a very important thing, to uniformly make sure that your entire potato mixture is well seasoned. So I want you to make a note of the fact that there is absolutely no cutting or chopping involved in this recipe whatsoever. And we are going to use the minimum number of utensils to cook, so that you don't have a lot of washing up to do afterwards either. So this is done. I'm just going to put this aside for the minute and take a microwave safe plate over here on which I'm going to cook these tikkis. So it may have occurred to you that the corn flour that we added into the tikkis will not be cooked. But that is where you're wrong, because we're going to first cook these tikkis in the microwave. It will get cooked right through. So I'm going to now divide this mixture into 2 parts, because I'm going to show you how to make tikkis in 2 ways, and you can decide whichever way you find more convenient. So in the first way, as you can see, I have spread out half the mixture on my palm like this. You don't need to add any oil or water or anything on your palm. It will not stick. And now I'm going to stuff it. I've got a few peas over here. These are frozen peas. So you don't even need to bother to thaw any vegetables that you're putting in. If you don't like to put vegetables inside, if you have some paneer lying around, you can put that. If you have any cashew nuts, if you have any peanuts, raisins, you can put any of these. But I'm going to show you something which is even more innovative. So here I've put this down on a plate, and now I'm going to bring in a namkeen mixture. You can use aloo bhujia, you can use khatta meetha, you can use any kind of namkeen mixture that you might have sitting with you. And I'm going to stuff this in the center of this tikki. And that gives a really nice textural difference, along with the flavor, of course, when you finally have the tikki ready. Into this, I'm also adding in a little bit of green coriander, because it will give us a nice burst of freshness in the filling. So let me just show you how to now close up this tikki. So here, as you can see over here, I'm gently picking up all the corners of the tikki while it is sitting on the plate itself, and I'm pressing the filling down a little bit, and I'm going to cover the top. I'm taking a little bit extra potato. You can do that as well. This is a really forgiving method. There is no hard and fast rule. And if you can see, I'm able to move the tikki around on the plate very easily, because I had greased it earlier. You saw me doing that with oil, didn't you? So all I'm going to do is, right on the plate, I'm going to form this tikki. Even if the top is not totally covered, don't worry about it unnecessarily, because by virtue of the fact that we're going to first cook this in the microwave, it will hold its shape later as well and not break. None of your filling will come out either. See? Easy. And there was nothing on my palm either. You saw that. So again, I'm going to move this to one side, because I'm going to make the second tikki now. And I'm going to take the rest of the mixture once again into my hand. And this is the more traditional way of making a tikki. You would have seen the tikkiwalas or your mom at home or your cook at home use this method. So I've again spread everything on my palm. I've put in the peas and I'm going to add in the namkeen mixture again. But I'm keeping the tikki on my palm this time. And again, gently I'm going to bring in the sides on top of the filling while pressing it down all the while. So you can see it's not very difficult to do. It just requires a little bit of confidence, which you will get once you've made this once or twice. But this gives it a more typical tikki flavor of slightly narrower edges. You see, the sharper edges and a thicker bottom. But it was just as easy to make, wasn't it? So now what we're going to do is, let me just clean my hand. And I'm going to put this into the microwave to cook. And these are going to cook for a full 1 minute, which is going to ensure that all that potato and the frozen filling as well as the corn flour that we added into the mixture is nicely cooked through. Now I must tell you that the microwave that I'm using over here is of 850 watts, which is what you will find in most of your halls of residences or the flats which you will hire. If you find that you have a microwave which is of a higher wattage or of a lower wattage, all that you need to do is inversely reduce or increase the time of cooking. If you find that too confusing to do on your own, you can just Google a quick calculator. There are lots of free ones online which will help you calculate the amount of time that you require to cook anything in the microwave, right? So the timer is about to go off, and let me show you what our tikkis are looking like after this 1 minute of cooking. So normally it would take you over 25 to 30 minutes to cook these tikkis if you were doing this on a traditional stovetop. But here I'm going to show you that these are actually totally cooked, just not crisped on the outside, but these are totally cooked, and now we are going to crisp them on a stovetop in a frying pan. So the other advantage is that by cooking this in this method, you don't have to add a lot of oil or fat to cook these tikkis. And I'm now here putting just a little bit of oil. You can see me brushing the oil over here. And I have put this pan to heat on medium heat. I'm going to wait for it to warm up slightly. I should be able to feel the heat on my palm. And once I can do that, all that I'm going to do is pick up these tikkis gently. When they're hot, they are a little delicate. So wait for a bit. They'll cool enough while the pan is heating up only. You want the pan to be quite hot. And once that is the case, you'll see a little bit of shimmering happening on the pan top. And now I'm going to place these tikkis to start crisping on the pan. I'm going to add just a little bit more oil because honestly, without the oil, it is very difficult to crisp up anything. But we're still using far less oil than would be used traditionally when a tikki is made. If you like that texture of a tikki where it's very, very crisp on top, then you do need to use a lot more oil than this. Let me add the second tikki as well, and they can both cook together. And I'm going to add just a little bit of oil around and on top of the second one as well, so that this also crisps up nicely. Now with my spatula, I'm going to show you that these tikkis initially will stick a little bit on the pan and you're not to worry about it. Now as they keep cooking and crisping, you will find that they start leaving the pan. And in fact, that is the way to know that they are nicely crisp on the underside. So now you can see for the first one, when I am putting my spatula in, it is in fact allowing it to go under and it's not getting stuck. But this one is still not cooked to that point and it will not let me go in. From this side again, let me show you the first one, and as you could see, I could insert my spatula. If there is a little bit of sticking which remains on the pan, don't worry unduly about it. That is the nature of the beast. It does get stuck a little bit sometimes, but it is no big deal. But if you let it cook on gentle heat for a little while, you'll be able to see that. So you see, where it had crisped up, it didn't come off, but where it hadn't, it had. But I'm just sticking the crispy bits back onto the side of the tikki. So we're going to enjoy those as well and not let them get burnt, right? So as you can see, these are coming along really nicely. Now I'm going to speed up the video a little bit so that you don't get bored. It takes approximately a minute on each side to crisp these tikkies. So I'm not going to make you watch that in real time. Let's speed this up a little bit. Now, I'm sure you can do the math on your own, and you can see that really in less than 5 minutes, you can have these tikkies from scratch and enjoy them at any time you like. Now, you can enjoy them with sliced onions, you can enjoy them with chutney, salt, which also I have put in a video for. And that is also a 1 minute salt. So while you're doing the tikkis on this pan, you could easily make the same salt in the microwave and it'll be ready together for you to enjoy. You can also put a little bit of yogurt in these. If you have leftover cholas, for which also there is a video in your course, you can add a little bit of that and basically enjoy and not miss home or the streets of your hometown. So these are nearly done. As you can see, in fact, with the black spots, I've actually overdone them slightly. You please be careful. Don't go to that place. Make sure that they're just to the golden point. And like I said, if you like them crisp all round like the tikki walas, then add a little bit more oil because that is what is going to help in crisping all round actually. So I have made it with very, very little oil. You can add a little bit more oil if you so desire. These are now ready and I'm going to transfer them onto a plate. Here we go. So these are very sturdy tikkis now. You don't need to worry about their breaking or anything. And you can see there's nothing stuck on our pan either. And I'm going to remove this pan now. And I'm going to give you a close-up of the tikkis that I have just made for you. So I'm adding a little bit of the instant salt that I had mentioned. There is a video for what is tikki without chutney, and a little garnish of the green chilies, and this is absolutely ready for you to enjoy. Let's put a little bit of garnish just to make it look pretty.